second podcast of the week. We know you guys enjoy it, so we'll give you a double dose. We're overdosing you with this stuff. And I am here with Ozzy and Ramsey. Ozzy, how you doing this fine afternoon?
I'm wearing the Carolina shirt because we got Carolina Duke Saturday. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Heels. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
All tired.
El Clasico. Other El Clasico. Ramsey on his way to work with the lighting looking crazy on the YouTube. Ramsey, how you doing, bro?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
How we do it.
Hey, blessed to be alive. Blessed to be alive. Let's keep it like
it's
that.
Always blessed. Something blessed.
That's
You just got to join Team Blessed at this point.
I might have to.
You know what? They're gonna
Yeah,
they're gonna come out with
Fusion
t-shirts.
That team.
They're gonna have t-shirts that "Blessed to be best" or something next season. Watch.
Yeah, gotta be. You gotta brand that. But anyways, we got the top 25 for you this week and for this episode, and we have the MVP candidates, and we have the playoff scenarios, and not only the scenarios, but how to get in and what seeding you'll have, depending on if you make it in, for each team. Because believe it or not, Ozzy said in the last podcast, all 12 teams are still alive for the playoffs. Obviously, 3 or 4 teams have already clinched, but we'll get to that. And we have no league news since we already went over that, so let's get right into.
You're listening to the NMAA podcast. Your favorite podcast is here.
And the top 25 available on the website as well, NMAA-us.org/MaxLeague. That's the URL. Nobody really does URLs anymore, but just Google it. You'll figure it out. So let's start from the bottom. Let's start with points per game and the top 25. We'll kind of highlight here and there about who's surprising on here. Obviously, let's go to the top 5 first. Number 1, Alex Ford. Not much of a surprise after his 57-point game. There should be an asterisk next to that 35 points per game, but he's averaging 35. He's well ahead of everybody else. Tyrell Alfred is second with 31.8 for Team Blessed. Makes sense. Nacho Padilla, Ignacio, 30.7 for the Comedy Stars. So 3 players above 30 points per game, which is impressive. To have a 30-point game is impressive. To average 30 is another thing. Number 4 is Josh Fillmore, 27.8. He was up here until he had that 13-point game against MIB. He was up above that 30-point as well. He might have been leading the league, but brought down to earth a little bit. Romello Bates, 26 points per game for MIB. I'm surprised, and I think I was saying this during the break. I thought Romello was averaging more because I feel like he's had 30 points at least like 4 games in a row. Well, I might be mistaken.
Yeah, you are.
Maybe it just feels like that.
Overly biased on Romello, but yeah.
Can you blame me? But one guy that I feel like we don't talk about enough, and we kind of mentioned him, but Mike Nichols is up here, and he's 8th, 23.8 points per game for Tauheed, and he is technically leading them in scoring. And
yep.
I feel like we talk about him, we're like, okay, yeah, Mike had a good game, but we don't really dive deep into how good of a scorer Mike actually is. And Ramsey kind of did last season.
Did
you
say 23? 23
yeah.
points?
23. Yeah, Michael Jordan, 23.8.
That's almost 20.
Carolina, baby, Carolina.
Yep, Carolina for sure. And some of these other guys, Yusuf Osweiss is above 20 as well, 20.9. Salim Joseph, 20.8. BJ is still 20.7. Zach, 20.1. Chris has 20. My guy Austin Pack has 18.7. And one of the 2 MVP candidates back-to-back here, Joe Wynn, Dear Lee, 18.5, 18.4. Aaron Mitchell, first rounder, 18.2 points. Akbar Yassin, so 18.1. Would have won this one if you made it this season. Akeem Laurie, 17.7. Darius Venegas, 17.5. James Nicholson L, 17.2. And Michael Scorsum rounds out the top 25 with 16.6. I actually think I missed a couple there, actually. Sharif is up there at 25. Heron at 25. Norris with 23. Demetrius at 22. Kyle Clark with 21. So that is a top 25 list. Any surprising little inclusions there for you?
No, not surprising. It looks like so we're a little late in doing these. There's only like 1 week left in the season. So we're a little late, but it looks like Alex Ford is going to wrap up the scoring title. Yeah, I think Tyrell Alfred at 31.8 in second, Nacho at 30.7. Just guessing off the top of my head, they would have to score like 50 and Alex score like 15 for those averages to dramatically change.
And that might not do it either.
Yeah, and that might not do it either. It has to be something drastic. So I think Alex has wrapped up the title. I think the question is, Tyrell has the high from last season at 37 a game. So Alex Ford needs 2 more points per game just to tie him. So I wonder what kind of math we need to do for him. Does he have to drop like 50 on Sunday against MIB to not only beat MIB to get the scoring title? Yeah, so that's what's sticking out to me. This looks like the scoring title is wrapped up by Alex, but can he tie Tyrell's record from last season at 37?
That's true. That's big right there. Ramsey, anybody there that sticks out to you?
Did we lose Ramsey? He's frozen.
Am I still frozen?
Yeah,
I'm good.
We can hear you.
Looks frozen.
We can hear you.
Honestly, Michael Nichols at 23 points kind of surprised me a lot, man. I would figure somewhere around 15, 16 is where he would land, but I mean, I can't ever overlook MJ. Shout out to Michael, man.
Yep, facts. But yeah, he was the one that was a little surprising for me as well. Where he's, I think, 9th, or if I'm counting that correctly, 9th in scoring. I would not have guessed him to be in the top 10, even though, I mean, he gets buckets, but evidently he's higher than we thought he was. But the next list for the top 25 is free throws made. This is kind of like a whatever one, but Tyrell Alfred is leading the league in free throws made. This is kind of getting to the line and making them count when you get to the line. Tyrell Alfred, 57 free throws made. Alex Ford is second with 52 free throws made. Romello and Austin both are third and fourth, 39 and 38. Romello has 39, Austin 38. Nacho also has 38. Akbar Yassin, 35 free throws made. Josh Fillmore, 33. Joe, Zach, both tied the dynamic duo with 31. Sharif with 30. Heron with 28, Brian Brown with 26, Nasser Mullah 25, Akeem 25, Demetrius, shout out Demetrius 23. If he shot like 90% from the line, he might have been in the 40s. But I see Demetrius be airballing some of those free throws. I've seen that, Demetrius. But and he's missed a couple games too, so he would be up there. Kamos, same thing. Kamos, sometimes his form looks crazy, but it goes in.
He's solid. He's a solid free throw shooter. His would be higher if he hadn't been hurt. He's been hurt for like the last month, so he hasn't been able to get to the line as much.
Kamos has really had like a breakout season. I think he kind of had it last season, but it was hidden on a bad team with a bad record. But Kamos is proving it this season that he's top 3, top 5 big.
Yeah, so, if it wasn't for the injuries, that put him at the top for most improved player.
Yep. BJ, Dane, Ronald, Chris, Yusuf Osweiss, AP, Aaron Person, Darius Venegas, Mike Nichols, and BG round up the top 25. So free throws made. This is not really a title people are trying to get, but it's still realistic for Alex Ford to take that free throws made title if he's 5 back of Tyrell.
Yeah.
So
that one's still up in the air. He could still win that one.
Yep. So Alex could set the record for the points per game in a season and free throws made. Maybe those go hand in hand. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah.
You're listening to the NMAA podcast.
Welcome to a brand new episode.
And the next category we have for the top 25 is rebounds. For rebounds, it's similar names at the top of the list. Hani Albana leading the league with 14.3 rebounds, but surprising at least, right behind him is Dier Lee with 14 flat. So Dier is second in the league in rebounds, for somebody that's kind of a wing player, it's not
Yo,
a
that
true
should
big.
not surprise you. You see this guy get up in the air, man.
He gets
No,
Listen,
I
and
know,
when he
but
gets
I'm
up,
saying
he smacks the ball too to let you know that he got it. So
Yeah. He gets every
it's
rebound.
true. It's true. It's true. But you think of like traditional rebounding, you don't think of the wings. You think of the centers. So I would have thought Demetrius, Chris Malcolm, but there are guys that are right behind him. So it's Demetrius is third with 13.3, Rami Bashir 12.4, Chris Malcolm 10.5, Jay Barnett 10.2, Darius Donaldson 10.1, another wing type of player. James Nicholson L. This is surprising to me. He's sixth or seventh in the league with 9.8, almost averaging 10 rebounds a game.
that is
for Jun. And Jun is a big team, and with Trayvon, with Chris Malcolm, with some of the guys they have, I'm surprised he's averaging almost 10.
How many games does Chris Malcolm miss? So he's probably had to play that big role.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we don't have that in here, but I think he's missed at least three games. So
yeah, that's true. That does play a factor. But other than that, Sharif has 8.8, Ronald Williams 8.4, Austin Pack, my guy 8.4, Aaron Mitchell 8.3, Mohamed Hare with 8.3. That 17 rebound game got him on the list. Dane Thompson, top 3 for the Sultans, big 3, 8.2. What'd you call him? The Great Dane Ramsey? Yeah, the Great Dane Thompson. Tim Nightingale 8.2, Kaz Moranu 7.9, Rayan Johnson, a surprising addition to this list, 7.6 for Al Fatih, 7.6 rebounds a game for Rayan. 100%. That's impressive. Romello Bates 7.6, Debo Jackson 7.4, Darius Venegas with 7, Kamos with 6.8, Omar Rosado 6.6, Michael Scorsum 6.5, Joe, Yusuf, and Lamel. And Joe in the top 25. Shout out Joe. It's getting on the list. Joe averaging 6.4 rebounds per game.
6, right? How's he a top 3 big and gets 6 rebounds a game?
I don't know. You got to average more than that. But maybe the missed games.
He's a great big, though.
He has been hurt, though.
Like, if he was big for my team, I'd be very happy. But top 3 is pretty tough.
Listen, sometimes as a center, just because you do everything right doesn't mean you get the stat, right? There was games, and Ozzy can attest to this, when we used to play together, I used to box out like 2 guys.
I get the rebound.
And Ozzy would just go grab the board.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the stat or anything for that.
No, there was a game that I had 16 rebounds with that exact fact. Lars and I think we had Beta too. They were just boxing out everybody, and I got all the rebounds. So, but it's back to that point. Kamos has been hurt since like week 3. He's had one injury after the other. But you're right. He should be averaging more rebounds, but I just don't think he's been able to jump in almost 2 months.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely a factor. But Joe popping out there for me, at least. Joe's
that's interesting.
Like a 5'7", 5'8". He's averaging almost 7.7 rebounds a game.
He'd be flying.
Yeah. No, similar hairstyles too.
It shows you the kind of heart that Joe has. Joe, let's just say it. He's one of the smallest guys in the gym, but he's in the top 25 for rebounds. What does that tell you? This guy's got a lot of fight in him.
Very impressive by Joe. Next stat we have is steals. And top 25 for steals, number 1 is Romello Bates with 26.
Big surprise.
Not a huge surprise, but the top 2 is not a huge surprise at all. Romello's 26, number 1. Alex Ford, number 2, with 22 steals.
I'm a little surprised.
And I would say the surprise.
Yeah, that is surprise.
By Alex Ford at 2?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by Alex at 2. I didn't know he had that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Alex goes for the ball. Alex really he'll trap people when they're not looking, and he'll poke it out and go on the break, and it all leads to him getting a layup. So if it helps him score, he's trying to get that steal, got that easy bucket. But third, this was surprising to me. Yusuf Osweiss with 3rd in the league in steals with 19.
With 19 in one hand, by the way. One hand.
With the left hand, yeah. Leading the team in scoring with the wrong hand. Dier Lee has 4th, 18. Nacha 17. Norris Anderson, 16. James Nicholson, 15. Salim Joseph with 15. I don't think of Salim as much of a defender, like in my head at least, but he's in the top 10 for steals. So AP, no surprise, 15. Kwang Pham, 13. Another smaller guy that's kind of pesky and just gets in the passing lanes, but I don't think of him much of a defender either.
Every season he's like in the top 3 in steals, so it's kind of surprising
he really
that he's
is
that far down. That it's to me.
Yeah, I think he's been hurt a little bit too, but I mean, everybody on Alfate has, to be honest. Aaron Mitchell, 13 steals. Tyrell Alfred, 12. Mike Nichols, Josh Fillmore, Chris Emile, Zach Pope all have 12 as well. Ronald Williams, Hani Albana both have 11. BG and Isaiah both have 10. Rayan, Jay Barnett, Jabari Grant, Quan, and Derek Dangerfield all have 9. So I think Hani having 11 is surprising to me too. I guess he's just kind of catching those outlets. But anybody stick out here for you guys? Ozzy, what about you?
No, it's pretty straightforward. Other than I was a little surprised that Alex being that high. No, not surprised. It's a pretty accurate list. These are the guys that get their hands on everything.
Yeah, good defenders too. But next we have 3-pointers.
My favorite
made.
stat.
This is Ozzy's favorite stat. Usually we'll see Ozzy on the tail end of this list, and he is not there this season.
Up until 2 years ago, I was always top 5. I'm just going to throw that out there. It was just about 2 years ago when I hit my 40s that I fell to the bottom of the top 25. And then I thought I was going to be back this season.
We can blame COVID.
Yeah, and then I thought I was going to be back in the top 25 this season.
Well, Ozzy, you got to get on the TB12 program. Tom Brady's out there in 40s.
Oh, my God.
I really do. I need his trainer and his dietitian. Yeah.
Bro.
But these stats are crazy.
Yeah, there's only one Tom Brady.
And there's only one Tom Brady.
But 3-pointers made. No, number 1, Alex Ford, 54 threes. But right on his tail is Tyrell Alfred with 53 threes. So these two guys are duking it out for free throws, threes, and points per game. Maybe not points per game like Ozzy was alluding to. It'd have to be something real crazy for Tyrell to overtake Alex in that. But free throws and 3-pointers made, these are real titles that can be overtaken by Tyrell.
You know what?
He's right there.
You know what, though? I'm jumping ahead. Heron and Chris, 46 and 45 threes. If they go off, they could take it. I still think that those two still have an outside chance.
Not this week.
Winning.
We got
you're right.
Block, so look at Heron maybe. Not Chris.
Oh, there it is. All right. Chris, I hope you're listening. You just said you ain't hitting no threes, Chris.
He said you're going to have Chris
10,
locked.
sure.
I don't know if you can lock Chris up.
It would be tough. Because he's 9 behind Alex, and Alex is going to probably – was he averaging 5 a game? Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. Let me take it back. It's Alex and Tyrell.
We can hold Alex to 0.
By the way, it's not
crazy
for Tyrell to overtake points per game
probably not
lead because first, Alex is playing against Romello. If he doesn't score past a certain number, his average is going to go down. And then if Tyrell goes off, which he's probably trying to go off every game, that can cover that point differential between them. So that's it.
We got to do the math because to take him over with 6 points per game, you have to do something crazy.
50 is not crazy.
We'll figure that out. Maybe we'll post it on the IG or something.
It's not.
It's not. But next on the list is a little bit of a drop off after Chris with 45. Zach Pope has 36. Josh Fillmore with 35. Akbar Yassin with 32. Joe Wynn finding himself on every single list apparently with 32. Romello with 31. Mike Nichols with 30. Nacho as well with 30. Quentin Zaratni, last year's 3-point contest champion, 27. Darius Venegas, 24. Salim Joseph, 23. Sharif with 21. Jabari also with 21. I'm surprised to see Jabari on here because I think of him as like kind of a fast break, bouncy type of guy, not a shooter. So shout out to Jabari for getting on here. Isaiah Nicholson, James Nicholson, Marcus Hilliard, Quan Gaston, and Aaron Person all tied with 20. Derek Dangerfield with 19, much to Ozzy's chagrin. BJ Battle with 18, Tim McGuire with 18, and Norris Anderson with 18. Man, I'm a little surprised Norris only has 18. I would have thought him to be up there, up in the top 10, top 15 at least. So for him to have only 18 and be almost 43s behind the leader, it's pretty surprising to me.
He missed a few games, but yeah, that's a little low for Norris. I would say that too.
Yeah, but
all right,
3-point champion up for the taking.
Yeah,
it's up for the taking. And Ozzy, like Ozzy said, Heron and Chris have an outside
Chris,
shot.
I'm gonna
they
just
get
repeat
hot.
that. Not Chris. Heron, maybe.
All right, we got it, bro. We got it. All right, next one is assist, and leading the league in assists, a guy's name that we've said almost on every top 25 list so far is Joe Wynn with 77 assists total, and there's been 10 games, so he's averaging 7.7. Easy math. Romello Bates second in the league with 71. Josh Fillmore with 63. Josh, another reason for his bounce back season. He really is passing that ball and moving it around.
That's really high. We didn't think he would have. I know a lot of us didn't think he would be that high in assists. So that's a big statement from him.
Yeah, for sure. Zach Pope, a little bit of drop off after Josh Fillmore with 63. Zach Pope with 50. De'Aaron Lee with 48. De'Aaron also on all of these lists. Kwong Pham, this one is not surprising. Ramsey, that Kwong is number 6 in the league in assists. He's always up there. He's always had like games where he scores like 3 points and then gets like 12 assists. He'll get those games for sure. After that, Brian Brown with 40 assists, Yusuf Osweiss with 37, Nasser Al-Mullah with 36, Alex Ford with 36, Tyrell and James Nicholson L both with 35, Akbar Yassin with 33, Austin Pack with 32, Mike Nichols and Akeem Laurie with both with 32, Tim McGuire with 31, Sharif and Norris Anderson with 26 apiece, BJ, Nacho both with 24 apiece, Quentin Zaratni, BG, Freddie, Jarrett, and Kaz round out the list, all with 23 total assists.
Yeah,
go ahead, Ozzy.
Go ahead, Ramsey. I was gonna say it looks like it's down to 2 guys, Joe and Romello. Joe's got a 6 assist lead, so that's a little tough to make up. 6 assists. Romello's got to get 6 more than Joe for that assist title, but it's close.
It's possible. It's possible if we really spread that ball around. Romello get like 12 or 13, and Joe gets like 4. It's possible.
Honestly, what's surprising for that
outside chance, but
I didn't see. I mean, I haven't been noticing that Alex and James been passing like that, and they're up there in assists, and so it leads me to believe, like, I don't know, Dev is feeding me this preconceived notion that his team will pass. Well, I mean, they're getting the assists.
Yeah, the numbers say it. The numbers say it for sure.
What is that? That just tells you what we did to them that one, this past Sunday. That's all.
You got him shook, huh?
Ozzy got him shook. Primed him up straight for me. Ozzy, throw me the oop for this week. Hopefully, I can dunk it. But last category for the season so far is blocks. And let me tell you something. After week 4, we did the podcast where Rami Bashir took over for one of the bigs that dropped off from the Warriors. And he didn't even play the first 2 or 3 weeks. It might have been the first 2 weeks.
I think he came in January. So he
and
missed the
now,
first 3 games. Yeah.
It's probably not.
He missed the first 3 games. So, Rami, it's not even close. Rami Bashir is number 1 with 27 blocks.
He won it.
Number 2 is Jay Barnett with 14.
Yeah.
He almost has double
of
the second leading blocker.
Yeah.
And he hasn't even played the first 3 gigs. He would have 40. Like, it's crazy.
It's almost 4 blocks a game.
Yeah, 20.
He's averaging almost 4 blocks a game.
Yeah. He's averaging almost 4 blocks a game, which is crazy. But, Rami, there's no shot anybody's taking that. That is your title. You don't even have to play this week.
Congrats, Rami.
Congrats, Remy, on the blocks title for the Max League. But second to Jay Barnett, like I said, with 14. Tim Nightingale with 13. Hani Obana usually dominates this with 10 and fourth. He was hurt. I'm sorry, Hani. It wasn't on purpose, I swear.
For him, man.
Next,
Honestly, he's always usually contending for the championship.
For a lot of guys.
it really has not been
and
a
leading
great
the
season.
blocks and leading rebounds and even points as well. I mean, last game, what he had, like 2 points. So
He's had like 5 games where he scored less than 5.
And this is what
like
happens.
5 or 6,
His
4
draft
or
stock
5
goes
points.
down,
Like, it's
and
not a
then
good
next
look.
season someone takes him.
Though.
Like, bro, like that guy, Josh Fillmore and Demetrius on the same team.
His draft stock's not gonna go down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
It happens, man. It happens.
all right.
Well, next is Hani. Oh, after Hani is Isaiah Nicholson with 9 blocks. Shout out Isaiah. Chris Malcolm also with 9 blocks. Kamos with 6. So there you go, Ramsey. He's in the top 6, top 7 with blocks. Ronald Williams with 6. Aaron Mitchell with 6. Michael Scorsom with 6. BJ, Josh, Clemens, Yusuf Al-Swice, all with 5 blocks. D'Angelo, Debo, both with 4. And this is where the MIB run, I think you did it alphabetically, so we're all right next to each other. Austin Pack, Jamal Lamy, Romello Bates all have 4. And your boy, Waris Zahir, has 4 blocks on the season. So I made a top 25 list and something, which neither you can say. So
I've been hurt.
There you go.
Knock it off. Go look at my box scores.
I've been getting blocks. I can't believe I'm 9 blocks.
Yeah, actually, let me look before I talk. I might have talked too soon. No, you're not on here. All right. De'Aaron Lee, Darius Donaldson, DeMaze Tracy, Aaron Person, all also with 4 blocks. And Alex Ford and Hare with 3 blocks on the season. Got him in the top 25. So that is the top 25 so far. So it looks like we have a couple things that are still up for grabs. Rebounds is only 0.3 difference between Dier and Hani. So Dier get a 20 rebound game and you might be taking first. Steals, free throws, assists, maybe 3-pointers for sure. So, and an outside shot of points per game. So there's a lot of stuff that can be changed for this last week, but we'll have the scoring champ, assist champ, rebound champ on the podcast probably after
I want you to know I'm coming for your blocks.
Yeah,
I'm taking you off the list. Watch.
I'm gonna get in the game and I'm gonna tell Dev, throw it up for me once. I'm gonna just slap it away so I can make sure I
do
can
one even better.
go up one slot.
The stat
get that block in there.
Give me 3.
Oh, okay. So you did. All right. That's what we're doing. But that's the top 25, guys.
You're listening to the NMAA podcast.
With you every week.
And we have the MVP candidates. We have narrowed it down to 6 players who we will vote for after the season. And let's just get it started. The first player, and obviously these players, the nominated players, are in no particular order. So if somebody's like, hey, why'd you say my name last? It's just, it's not even alphabetical order. It's just the way I did it. I don't know. I'm sorry if you don't get your name first.
Everybody's equal right now.
Everybody is equal right now. No voting has been done.
Yeah.
It's not going to be done until the end of the season.
Yep.
But the first player nominated for the MVP award is Romello Bates, 26 points per game, 7.6 rebounds per game, 7.1 assists per game, 26 steals, 31 3-pointers made, and 4 blocks. He is, I think, on every single statistical category in the top 25.
Yeah.
Does a little bit of everything.
That puts you on the MVP list, yeah.
And best record in the league as of now. So, next player on the MVP candidate list is De'Aaron Lee. 18.4 points per game, 14 rebounds per game, as we said, the second in the league in rebounds, 4.8 assists per game, 18 steals, and 14 three-pointers made. Dier joined a little late, but I think Tauheed has become a legitimate championship contender with him on the team. And I think Ramsey said this on the last podcast. He kind of controls their offense, even if he doesn't score every single time. He's not a pure scorer, but can put up 30, and one of the best defenders in the league. Crazy motor. Definitely deserves to be on there. What do you think about Dier's inclusion, Ozzy?
Yeah, he's their floor general. Not the point guard, traditional point guard you might think like Romello is, but he's their floor general. He's doing everything. He's making sure he's cleaning up the boards, which he's done an amazing job of. Takes on the team's best offensive player. He's their number one defensive guy. Steals everything. Just he does everything. So yeah, it's a well deserved nomination.
Can I say this about him? One thing that I've seen from him is that he's really stepped up and become the leader for his team. Like, I see him on the side. He's always asking his coach, like, all right, sub this guy in, sub this guy out, take this guy in. All right, give him like 5 more minutes and then let him come in. And then he's come over to the scores table multiple times and asked us how many timeouts we have had or that he has left. And that's just a leader for the team. He wants to make sure everything, all his X's and O's are checked off. And if you can see in the video as well from the last game of Tauheed versus MIB, when Salim missed 3 free throws in a row, on the second free throw, he went over to Salim and he said, like, hey, like, you're good, like, don't worry, like, and he brushed him off and, he shook his hand and make sure everything was good. Like, you can see it in the video. And that's something that I noted. And I'm like, man, this guy is just an amazing teammate. Other leaders or other star players for other teams, I don't know if they would have done that. Maybe they would have just said something like, oh, my God, like, I wish I'm the one that took the free throws. And he's went and he's just grown into an amazing leader for the league and for his team.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to
Perfect type of player in NMAA, for sure. Well said, Ramsey. The next player for the MVP nominations is Joe Wynn for Showtime. Or not. Oh, he's not on Showtime. What am I talking about? He's on the Sultans, who are 6-4. Dier's team, Tauheed, is also 5-5. Most likely will make the playoffs because of their point differential. We'll get to that. But all these teams have similar records, winning records almost. But Joe, 18.5 points per game, 7.7 assists, leads the league in assists as of now, 6.4 rebounds, which we talked about, 32 three-pointers made, 6 steals. Joe has really taken over the role of leading that team, and whether that be scoring, whether that be passing, whether that be rebounding, defense, Joe does what they need for them to win. They're 6-4, and I think after they've gotten Zach, they're 4-1, something like that. So Joe definitely deserves to be on this list.
Yeah, they've been playing really well since the Zach trade. Joe's played himself onto this list because he didn't start off that way. It was a very tumultuous season for the Sultans, and they weren't doing well. And Joe wasn't having the best season. And not because he was struggling, just the team makeup. A couple of very offensive oriented players. Just it wasn't working out. But since the Zach trade, his numbers have gone much better. He's kind of taken charge of that team, and he's taken over when he's had to. He's helped lead them to these victories because he's taken over fourth quarters. He did that against my squad in the last 7 minutes of the game. He just decided, okay, I'm just going to take over, and he did. He actually legitimately took over, scored like 5 layups on us, and so that's MVP type. That's an MVP type player. He's played himself onto the list.
For sure. So shout out Joe for being on the MVP nominated list. The next player nominated, and also the Sultans are the 3 seed right now, so they're 6-4, winning record. Can't have a losing record and be on this list. Next player on the MVP nomination list, Alex Ford. Should have seen this one coming. Second place in the league as of now, 8-2 record. Leads the league in scoring with 35 points per game. Leads the league in three-pointers with 54 threes made. and is second in the league in steals, so 22 steals. Also averages 6 rebounds a game, about 3.6 assists, and leading his team as a third-round pick to 8-2 record as of now, and they're guaranteed to be a top 2 seed even if they lose on Sunday, which I intend for that to happen. But definitely well deserving. Alex Ford, crazy. Yeah. He came out of nowhere in the beginning. I can speak for myself and say I was not a believer. I saw 2 or 3 games of his stats. I saw one kind of half of him actually play, so I guess that's a big factor. But looking at his stats, I was like, oh, he can't keep this up. Like, this is like crazy numbers right now. And he has kept it up all season, has had, I don't know how many 30-point games. Seems like every game he's had a 30-point game. And leading the league in scoring and most likely going to take home that scoring title. So, Ramsey, what do you think about Alex Ford on this list?
I mean, hey, he's the reason why John beat our team, man. The dude's an absolute bucket. I mean, we tried everything. We tried showing on like we tried playing man first, didn't work. Then whenever they would set a pick, we would show and then just have our man stay on him, still splashing threes. Then we went zone, still splashing threes. And the guy's motor, the guy's energy, and something else about him, he's very, very intelligent in the game of basketball. Like, I'm sure in life as well, he's intelligent. But in the game of basketball, for sure, he's intelligent. Just like Joe, he helped coach my team as well. So, like, the guy's amazing, man. And I'm honestly so happy that we got another star in the league, especially from where he got drafted. It's just making this league even more amazing.
Yeah, well deserved.
For sure. Well said, Ramsey. And the fourth player to be revealed on this list, or I'm sorry, the fifth, is Tyrell Alfred, second in the league in scoring with 31.8, second in the league in threes with 53 threes made, 5.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 12 steals, and Blessed is the 6th seed as of now, so they're 5-5, still top half of the league. And Tyrell, and we've said this on the podcast, and Ozzy said this even this week, where if Tyrell does not score a certain amount of points, X amount of points, whether that be 30, 35, 40, Blessed doesn't really have a chance. We'd say that in the picks, and it might be a little disrespectful, but that's how their team runs. Their team runs around Tyrell. And Ozzy believes that they're overachieving with 5-5 with their team. I think that their team's good because Tyrell can do all those things. He can fill it up, and after the beginning of the season, they started off a little tumultuous as well, as Ozzy was alluding to the Sultans, but it looked messy for Blessed. It was not best to be Blessed the first couple of weeks.
No, it wasn't.
I think Coach Fudge will tell you that as well. And Tyrell really was like, okay, let me get everyone involved. Let's play some winning basketball. Let's play some proper basketball, and I can go off in the pockets when I'm needed.
Exactly.
And Bless has improved their record and improved their play. In my opinion, they are a top half team in the league. So he definitely deserves to be on there. And
they've been doing better since the trade too. Since they did the trade, Celine for Tim McGuire, they've been doing a lot better too. A lot of their wins came when that trade happened. I still, Tyrell's second season in a row, he's been on the MVP candidate list. He was second last season to Romello and BJ. He came in second. Top 2 scorer. He was a leading scorer last season, second leading scorer this season. Also, one thing I've to note, Tyrell's first 2 seasons at NMAA, he hasn't been on my honest opinion, he has not been on the strongest teams. Last season, his best player to go to was Josh Clemens. That was his second best player on the team. On the Commissars, and then this season you could probably say, I mean, between Isaiah and Tim McGuire, that's pretty much who these are not all-star players. Where a lot of teams have at least a couple of stars, if not 2, if not 3. Blessed doesn't; they have 1. Everybody else, there's good players. I'm not putting down Blessed; they're all good players, but there's not an all-star on there, right? And most teams can say they have at least 2, if not 3. So he's had to do a lot by himself in his first 2 seasons of anime.
All right. Can I speak on this a little bit?
Go ahead,
do it.
Rams. You don't have to ask, bro.
Okay.
I mean, if you could do it unbiased, go ahead.
Unbiased opinion. You know, if my brother's
All
team
right.
sucked, I would say his team sucked. But in the beginning of the season, it did suck. It just seemed so discombobulated. Salim and Tyrell was just shooting everything. Tyrell was shooting spin away threes, and I mean, he was making some of them, but it was just like, what are you doing, man? As the season went on, they started, like you said, Ozzy, similar to what you said. They started playing team ball. I'm sorry, this guy's revving his motorcycle. They started playing team ball. Everyone was.
He's outside.
Yeah, he probably heard me too. They started playing team ball, and you can see in the game footage as well. It's not really off the dribble stuff that he's shooting. It's more now it's being passed to him. So he's given the role. I mean, he's not being as ball dominant, and the guy is amazing on and off the court. I mean, what more to say about this guy? And it's so hard to guard him. Whether he's like doing some offensive foul stuff that he's getting, like the refs are not calling, where he be grabbing the other guy's hand, or when he's actually going to the hole and bam, getting like, bro. I got no words to say. I got
well-deserved nomination.
Got no words to say.
No, 12 is a bucket for real.
100%.
But the last player on the MVP nominated list, and definitely deserving to be here, Josh Fillmore of Showtime. Showtime is 6-4, winning record, 4 seed right now. I think they've clinched a playoff spot. And Josh Fillmore, 27.8 points per game, top 5 in scoring, 5.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 35 3-pointers made, 12 steals. Josh Fillmore, after last season, after a very rocky last season, and a very infamous last season at this point, has really come back, not only basketball-wise, but, we value what people are off the court probably more than we value them on the court. If you're not approachable as a person, you're probably not going to come back to NMAA. I'm going to be honest. And Josh Fillmore, for me, has really turned around that viewing of how I saw him, at least. And he's very nice guy, easy to talk to. But other than that, this man has been cooking for Showtime. Showtime regularly puts up 90-plus points a game because of Josh Fillmore's effect on that offense. Demetrius eats. Chris Emil's been going off. Even Eddie, Pasha, Zach, all these guys get touches because Josh is orchestrating that offense perfectly. And he's been doing it from the jump. And Showtime has clinched a playoff spot. They're number 1 in scoring. And I can't attribute any of that besides Josh. It has to be Josh. But Ozzy, what do you think about Josh on this list?
Yeah, just shout out to him because we've mentioned this several times this season on the podcast that he had a terrible season last season, and we weren't even sure if he was going to come back. Just a whole bunch of things went wrong for him, and wasn't getting along with his team. Just lots of stuff, but he came back strong. He's been perfect this season, right? I mean, I've had no complaints. Get along with his teammates, and you just said it. You've got Chris and Demetrius also, putting up really good stats, and it's because Josh is leading the way. And I think the biggest thing about Josh, not just getting the offense back that we know he can do, the assists, that was really surprising. Really surprising that he's so high up there in assists. So well-deserved nomination on this list.
I got a funny story. Last week when he played my brother's team, I swear, and I could be wrong, but I swear I heard him say after like 5 or 6 shots, he made like swishes. I mean, he was hot. After like the 6th shot, and this is what I think he said. He said, "God, can I miss?" And like he was like shaking his head. "God, can I miss?" And I think he missed the next one. But
Okay.
But it's just
Can't get cocky.
What kind of confidence
Can't
he
get
has
too
in
cocky.
himself. And
Yeah.
honestly, what really surprises me is, again, the way he's been getting every single person involved. He's not ball hogging. It's beautiful team ball, and I wish he just had a better showing against MIB and Romello, because that really kind of stained his MVP, I guess nomination or whatever. But other than that, like, he's been on fire and absolutely amazing, and he's been a front runner for MVP. And I'm honestly, again, excited that he's in our league, and hopefully he stays, and hopefully he continues what he's doing on and off the court. All love.
All right.
For sure. Josh has solidified himself as a top 5 or 7 player, but that is the MVP nomination list. That is the creme de la creme for the Max League. Couple of guys that you might thought have deserved to make it numbers wise can't be on the MVP nomination list with a losing record.
Nope.
And that's how it works. You gotta win games. Can't just put up the empty stats.
Yep.
So
no disrespect to anybody
so you're
there.
saying I would have been on it if...
No, you wouldn't have been on it. No.
No. First of all, you got to play the games, Ramsey. There's a reason. So, like, people don't even know about our draft thing. You know what? I'm going to remove the curtain a little bit. Let people backstage. When we do the draft, we put the coaches in on one of the rounds. Ramsey is fourth or fifth this season, Ramsey? Fourth. So Ramsey.
Yeah.
4th round pick Ramsey, which means he doesn't get a 4th round pick because Ramsey is the best coach in terms of playing basketball and does not play himself. I don't know what's going on. Ramsey is a hooper. 99ers, if you guys are listening, Ramsey can ball out.
Well, hey,
let this man do his thing.
Have you noticed my number's been down this year? So I'm expecting 5th, 6th round, and I'm not gonna say he was on purpose.
Dude,
no,
he's hustling us for next season.
This is what it is.
He intentionally killed his stats for this season, so that next season he could get that extra pick, and then he's gonna ball out next season. So that's what he's doing.
His team is supercharged. He's gonna be like, I'm starting every game, playing 35
This
plus
is
minutes.
just tryouts. I'm just testing out people. But next season.
You go tryouts on the Max League? We played 12 games. You're doing tryouts.
Well, hey, how many players did I trade?
Every single one.
I'm joking.
I'm
joking.
You still got a chance for the playoffs. Speaking of, let's get to the playoff scenarios.
You're listening to the NMAA podcast.
Hit subscribe and don't miss the next episode.
And the final segment before we close it out, the final segment of the regular season, as a matter of fact, is the playoff scenarios. Believe it or not, all 12 teams are still for the playoffs. And let's get into it. Let's get right into it. So MIB and Jund have both clinched. Winner of that game this weekend is the 1 seed. Next team, Sultans have also clinched, and so has Showtime. Sultans and Showtime have to play whenever they play each other. Who won in that game, actually? I forgot to write that down. But Sultans and Showtime?
I will tell you right now. Sultans won in overtime.
So Sultans have the head-to-head. There's not point differential.
Head-to-head.
If they end with the same record, if they both win, then Sultans will be the 3 seed and Showtime will be the 4 seed. And next, the actual teams that are on the bubble, Tawheed technically has not clinched yet. So, but if they win, they are in. If they lose, the Revengers, Huck, and Al-Fateh win. And Al-Fateh don't cover the point differential of minus 83. So Tawheed would have to lose by 42 and Al-Fateh would have to win by 42 plus. Tawheed is essentially clinched. Blessed. Yeah.
I
mean, they're essentially clinched. They would have to not show up. Like, that's the only way they can not get in. Blessed. The Blessed win and they are in. Or if they lose, Revengers win, Huck and Al-Fateh win, and Al-Fateh don't cover a point differential of minus 68. So, same scenario, except we'll do 30-plus point per game wins instead of 40. Bless has essentially made it in. They really have to screw it up to not make it in. Now, let's go to the actual teams, the 4-win teams, where it really, really matters. So, Tawheed Blessed essentially made it. They got to really screw it up. The Revengers, Ozzy, went in the playoffs if they win, and Al Fateh doesn't cover 106-point differential. So, Revengers essentially win, and they're in.
And we're in, yep.
Yep. You're on the bubble, though. If you lose, and Huck 99ers and Al Fateh lose, you can still win because you have a positive point differential if you hold on to that plus 48-point differential. But you will need help if you lose. So essentially, win and you're in. Huck, the current 8 seed, they're in the playoffs if they win and Al Fateh doesn't win. Or if they win and Al Fateh wins but doesn't cover a 39-point differential. Now, that is realistic. 39 can be made up in 1 week. If a team wins by 20, another team loses by 20, it's happened. Al Fateh can make it in. So Huck is not just simply winning in. Al Fateh is gonna be gunning for that point differential. They really need it. For a lose scenario, if they lose, they're out. That's it. Huck has to win. So, Al Fateh, who we've spoke about a lot in these point differential things, they're in the playoffs if they win, and Huck or Revengers lose, one of those two, or if all 3 teams win, Al Fateh is able to cover that minus 39-point differential that they have. So they have to win by 25, and then Huck would have to lose by about 20. But they need help. They are not just winning in. They need
that
either
point
Ozzy
differential.
Yeah.
They're minus 91.
Really
they're minus 91 right now. They need a lot of help. They got to win.
They need a lot of help. They need a lot of help to catch up. Yep. And the 99ers, Ramsey, after being the 7th seed last week, the boy, Ramsey, what do you have these your scenarios memorized? Do you know what you need?
I already know, but I want you to read it, baby.
Got you. So the 99ers are in the playoffs if they win and either Revengers Huck or Al Fateh lose, or if they win and Revengers and Huck lose. That was a little complicated. I don't know if you figured that out, but yeah. So they need 2 of the 3 to lose.
Yeah, with one of those scenarios will be in 7th seed, and the other one will be 8th seed.
Yeah, there you go. So you just need 2 if the 2 of the 3 lose and you win, you're in. So you need help. You might need a lot of help.
And I need Chris to score under 10 points. I'll pay you whatever just to know that.
That was my comment.
First fraud, then bribery on the podcast. What is going on, Ramsey? You're not supposed to be doing this.
My bad.
He's getting desperate. He's getting desperate. Yeah. That's what it is. Well, that's the thing. The 99ers are playing Showtime Sunday. I don't know.
That's tough. And maybe they want you to win. Maybe Zach wants you to win. I don't know. Who knows? If 99ers, where obviously we don't have to speak about this. If they lose, they're out. They're already out right now, technically. So, the Commissars are in the playoffs if they win, and the Revengers, 99ers, and Huck all lose. So they need all 3 of those teams to lose to get in for sure. I think there's some posturing they can do with their point differential is not great with minus 33, Ozzy with plus 15. So if it goes down to point differential, it's not going to look good for the Commissars. So the Commissars need a lot of help, but it is still possible.
And if you think the Commissars need a lot of help, wait till you hear the next one. This is the most abnormal.
And Commissars,
scenario.
without being said, lose. Obviously, Commissars lose and they're out. The Warriors are in the playoffs. If they win and Huck, Al Fateh, 99ers lose, and they cover the minus 12-point differential on the Commissars. So, whatever the Commissars' point differential is Ramsey looks confused. What's happening, Ramsey? Yeah. Why are you so confused? You muted yourself. Bro, what is going on?
It's the win. My bad. You said minus 12 on the Comic Stars, right? Not like in total. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah,
So the Warriors. It's not looking great, but it is possible. Keep hope alive. You never know. You never know what can happen. Obviously, they're out there at 12th right now. Yeah,
They really could not afford to lose that game last week against the Sultans. They had that game and they blew it. So it's pretty much that. The chances are there, like you just said, but it's very slim. Right, so they're going to get a lot of help.
The real realistic shots are, I would say, Fateh, Huck. Obviously, Revengers, you guys are in right now. And the 99ers kind of have an outside shot. They do need a lot of help, but it is possible. It is possible. Yeah. We'll have the YouTube videos for the games on Sunday or whenever we upload them, probably the day after.
We're going to try to get every single game on video, just like we just did.
Every single game on video.
Yeah.
And we will talk about the scenarios at that time. I'll make sure all the hosts, the announcers are well versed on what needs to happen for each team. But it's going to be a crazy week. All 12 teams in the mix, the bottom 6 teams. So 5 and 6 have essentially clinched. 7 through 12. It's open. Ramsey, how are you feeling? Do you think you got a shot? You think you could do it?
Come on, man. If you know me, you know I'm never giving up. But in all honesty, like I really feel like we have a great chance. The only thing we got to do is win, and I'm not really worried about the other scenario, like the other teams losing, because I'm pretty sure the people who I picked are gonna win. All right, and yeah,
Ramsey gonna be coaching 3 teams this week.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna be
pretty sure Ramsey picked John last week too. So
yeah, but I didn't know they didn't. He did Malcolm, so just know that.
Would that have changed your pick? Would that have changed your pick, Ramsey?
Oh, of course. I still would have went John, but
I don't know if it would have changed mine. Okay, so then one of them. What are you talking about?
I just would have picked them like with less confidence. That's the change.
So Ozzy, Ramsey, both on the bubble. Ozzy, how are you feeling? Do you feel nervous going into this game? I know you guys are coming off a huge win, so probably not. But
we're confident. I mean, not nervous, just knowing that we got to take care of business. You know, the Warriors are still a team, so you got to be careful. They're a solid team. Ishmael Muhammad is a very good player, right? Yusuf Akbar. But see, it's a solid team, but we're not nervous.
The thing is,
we're ready to come handle our business.
Even if you lose, though, you probably have the best chance out of all of our teams, all of the teams left, like in the
lose and still make
from
it
7 down.
Positive point differential, yeah.
So hey, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm so freaking grateful that all the games, even the games that we lost, you know, you never want to be you never want to be happy about a loss, but I'm grateful for it that it was all close games, and it's really showing off at the very end of the game, end of the season. Like I mean, look at Al-Fatah and what's the other Huck, bro? They're freaking it's crazy. It's like what? Minus 60. I mean, but they're Al-Fatah.
But you know, but Huck and Fateh were the 2 most injured teams this season, and they both had at least 2 games each where they only had like 5 players, and it was just like a makeshift 5, right? And in both those games, they got blown out. So it just tells you again how important the attendance is in NMAA. You really need your squad there, or it can hurt you.
Well, Ozzy, would you ever think about doing a forfeit rule or anything like that?
No, we I've never liked forfeits. It used to happen back in the early days, and I hated it, and because you would lose stats, and it just wasn't good for the.
You pay for the games. So you pay to play. So
and I still had to pay the refs, and so I basically we had a no forfeit rule. You can't forfeit.
Damn.
So this is before the draft league. We used to have to deal with that kind of an issue. We have some teams. There was one team. It was one team, and we're digressing now. Garaba. I don't know if you guys remember Garaba.
I do remember Garaba, yeah.
Yeah, they forfeited twice because there was 2 games, and it might have been separate seasons, where like one guy showed up, or like nobody could make it, and then I would get a text, "We got nobody. We're not coming today." And I'm like, "What?" So I think after the second time they did it, we didn't let them back in. So I can't remember. It was a long time.
That's literally the worst.
So thankfully,
bro, you try to show up. You were so excited to play, and there's no one on the other team. That's crazy.
Didn't show up, yeah. And we wouldn't find out till the morning of, not even the night before. So, yeah, so since those early days, I've always hated forfeits. So I'm not really into forfeit rules. I think one thing we did talk about, we might look at for next season, is that if a team shows up like the Tauheed game versus John, if they show up with like nobody, like 4 guys, and we had to pick up like 2 coaches for them, and they're down by like 45 in the first half, that's a game where we can say like you only get a 25-point win.
You capped the point differential?
We used to have that in the past. We had that 25-point max if the team didn't have anybody. So maybe we'll look at that for next season. Thankfully, Salim showed
that's
up.
not a bad idea.
And he made.
They still only won by 14 or 15. So
yeah, that's because Salim finally showed up.
Salim started hitting threes off the glass. Yeah. But
anyways,
the Revengers and Warriors play first at 9 a.m. So you can't even do the whole what point differential do we need. You just got to play your game and win that game.
Win. That's it. That's all I care about. I don't care about nobody else. Win. If we lose by, if it happens that we lose, then I'll be all over that point difference.
Yeah. honestly, I feel like at that point you're gonna be like, man, I don't even deserve to make the playoffs. 4 and 7 to make it in, it's gonna be gross. But
I think it's my worst.
That is the playoff scenarios. We're gonna have all of these scenarios play out this Sunday, and we'll have all of the videos on YouTube. Hopefully, all of the games. I'll be commentating on probably 2 of them. So shout out your boy, the YouTube page, and go like and subscribe to the YouTube, man. We're on here now. Yes. You can see what we look like. Some of these guys didn't know who was the host of the podcast, and I saw them every week.
There it is.
You see us. 1, 2, 3. You see, I don't know where it has us, but you see me coaching the MIV. There we go. Are we gonna get T-shirts made? You guys gotta buy T-shirts. This is down the road. I'm talking about everything that we talk about. But
that's the beginning.
But with that, everyone stay happy. Everybody stay healthy. We'll see you again next week after MIB pulls off that win against Jund. It's gonna be a nice, fun game. That's not we talk about all the point differential stuff. We didn't even talk about the game of the season between the top 2
teams.
We
did that last episode.
I know.
Stop talking about yourself.
That doesn't even matter for seeding. I can't.
Are we ready to talk? Listen, Warren, you're gonna have to text some of these coaches next week because Ramsey ain't gonna show up after they lose Sunday. He's gonna bail out on the podcast next week.
Ramsey, we don't have another game until like July, August, bro. You gotta make the playoffs. Season can't end like this.
If I don't make the playoffs, you know who I'm blaming? I'm blaming Kwong. I'm already getting a text written up so I can send it to him just in case.
Oh my goodness. We got a draft set up, but anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Sit down.
Peace.
This that national, Muslim athletics. Oh, we playing, this the association. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots. Boy, shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks. Boy, the blocks. This that national, oh, we national. This that national, oh, we national. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots. Boy, shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks. Boy, ball starts it, pass in an instance, grabbing a scrimmage, basket is singing, home court, or they actually visit his tactics, killing it, talent, benefits, draft league of athletes, exactly laughing and happy when snapping, magic of passing is happening, trash speech, no slacky, surpass me. Keep you a shooter, granny shot, no underhand hooping. Point guard, make sure rock is moving. Big dog waiting on lobs, no losing. Popping boards at any cost. Man up, dog at any cost. At any cost. Box out, I can get them boys, can't get them all. Cardio needed, audio screaming. Kill them on Dio, launch from the deep end. It's time out session, push to the end. Find that aggression, cook up again. Rockets netting, NMAA. Look around, best ball league in the old town. This that national, Muslim athletics. Oh, we playing, this the association. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots. Boy, shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks. Boy, the blocks. This that national, oh, we national. This that national, oh, we national. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots. Make them shots, snatch them things, lock them in, get them blocks. Boy, block. It's a league. We're the fiends for the court, yeah. The speed leading the sport, setting teams.
Oh yeah,
with the need to lead, breathe, succeed at all costs.
Yeah.
Dreams never lost.
Never.
Fast play, pass fake. Where you at on draft day? First round of draft late. Don't end up in last place. Miss, stay shooting. Even with his backache. Laugh, till you pinned off the glass weight.
What?
Just blew a fast break.
substitution.
Back to the bench for that last play. Stay in the fast lane.
That's it.
Baseline cut. Easy bucket off the switch.
Bucket.
Last second shot. Buzzer beater for the clinch.
Yeah.
Number one playoff spot. Worked all season for this. But 8 seeds on top. Upset like March Madness. Savage attack to the basket. Classic.
Oh,
Run
yeah.
the ball through traffic. Passion, not passive. Every game is massive. NMAA versus the world.
Everybody.
Shout it to the masses. This that national. Oh, we national. This that national. Oh, we national. Pass it quick, at the rim, make them shots, make them shots. Dash them things, lock them in, get them blocks, boy, blocks.